That's right, boys. Welcome to the side of the ring because it's time for some ringside rumors. Sasha Banks' Twitter handle changed from Sasha Banks WWE to one with her real name at Mercedes Varnado. Curse my dyslexia because I keep wanting to say, Varnado. I keep wanting to say Varando for some reason. That's not even how you spell it. There's not even a second A. Anyway, it's been pointed out the process of changing this can take months. Okay, and may have nothing to do with whether or not she returns to WWE. And she does still list Sasha Banks WWE in her bio. I did see that. But it still caused a stir among fans. It's been pointed out the process of changing this can take months, and it may have nothing to do with whether or not she returns to WWE. Well, considering the fact that she changed her name to Mercedes Varando, right? Varnado, fuck, see? Help me, Lord. So it doesn't sound like she's going back to WWE anytime soon. At least that's as far as I can tell. Unless she does and she changes her name. And she's officially Mercedes Varnado. But I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see, to be fairly honest with you. But yeah, I was looking at this. Really, I sprinkled, looking at it all throughout, yesterday evening. And everybody was, going crazy because they were like, whoa, she changed her name. Yeah, man. You know how many, if I had a fucking nickel for every goddamn time one of the wrestlers blacked out their Twitter bio or blacked out their banner or whatever the fuck, or they put some sort of cryptic thing in, the location or whatever, I would have enough money to fucking buy my own wrestling promotion because they do that shit every fucking day. All right. Next, Sriracha's AEW Saraya. Sorry, I have to say Saraya enough times, and then when I say Sriracha, everyone's like, "Oh, he's talking about Saraya." Saraya's AEW contract is for 3 years, according to Fightful Select. The money in the deal largely implies that she'll be wrestling in some capacity. She's not cleared. She's not cleared. If you're not cleared to wrestle, don't fucking wrestle. Don't wrestle! Because then if you get injured, who's going to get in trouble for that? It's going to be you and AEW. The two of you are going to look like fucking idiots. It's the thing with the older brother getting the little brother in trouble. The parent's going to go to the older brother and go, why the fuck would you let him do that? You should know better than to be letting him get himself into situations like that. I put trust in you because you're the older, more mature one, and you should not be letting them get in any type of fucking nonsense. So everyone's going to be pointing, the first fucking thing people are going to do is go, AEW, you knew Paige wasn't cleared to wrestle, so what the fuck are you doing? It's going to look bad on AEW's part. Maybe, and this is just me taking a fucking shot in the dark, maybe don't put her in the ring. Because then, God forbid, if something happens to her, that is the first thing people are going to be talking about. Fuck. You're not cleared to wrestle, Saraya. Stay out of the ring. You shouldn't even have come to AEW. You could come to AEW. Be a commentator. Be a manager. But if it implies that you're wrestling, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do that. Just a thought in my head, in my fat fucking head. I don't really have a whole lot going on in my fucking Chrome Dome. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes my brain cells, they sit at the right table and they look at each other and go, we should both come together about this thought and then produce it throughout his mouth. What the fuck? Bruh, if you have a fucking torn ACL or something, maybe don't go right back out into basketball or football or whatever. Maybe give it some time so that it heals. Oh, Lord, man. This isn't good, man. I don't see this going well. Next, we might get more angles like the current White Rabbit one, as WrestleNomics Brandon Thurston shouts out to Brandon, says he heard Triple H, quote, told people in the financial community that part of WWE's new creative approach is dropping Easter eggs that appeal to hardcores. Yeah, because if there's any way that you're going to get your product out there, it's to get the motherfuckers talking about it. That's what's going to get it out there. So, Easter eggs, I would assume, and it pays dividends because more people are going to be watching, and the hardcores are going to be the ones who are going to be screen capping and zooming in and enhance, they're going to be doing all that shit, which, listen, it's giving them more shit to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's that thing where, like, a baby puts a ball on top of the swirly slide thing, and it slides down, and it rolls next to them, and they pick it back up, and it's just keeping them busy. In a good way, though. In a good way, you know? So, I'm really excited about this because this implies that there's more Easter eggs to come. So, I'm very curious as to what we might be seeing in the future. Next. After missing last weekend's house shows due to food poisoning, PW Insider reports Drew McIntyre is included in creative plans for this week's SmackDown. He's also expected to work this weekend's live events. Great. I'm glad to know he's feeling better. And finally, former New Japan wrestler Carl Fredericks was at the WWE Performance Center earlier this week, per Insider. So, I heard about this. I heard about this because they, if you don't know, Hurricane Ian is currently, Hurricane Ian is doing that thing where it's grabbing Florida by the collar and slamming them into the wall and their feet are dangling off the floor. Hurricane Ian is fucking Florida up. Okay, they're getting fucked up out there, all right? So much so, who was it? It was Samoa Joe. Who the fuck else was it? It was Samoa Joe and someone else. But they couldn't make it to, the AEW Dynamite show because of the complications due to Hurricane Ian, and that kind of like fucked the show up a little bit. It was Samoa Joe and it was somebody else. I couldn't remember, but I know Samoa Joe was one of them. And a report came out that WWE shut down the Performance Center because of Hurricane Ian. And before they did it, Carl Fredericks was spotted there. Now, I personally don't know who Carl Fredericks is, but he's an NJPW wrestler, so that ties into what I was talking about earlier about Shawn Michaels signing some indie talent, you know, from like Japan and all that sort of stuff. So that sort of like helps the... I don't know what I'm trying to say here. That pretty much helps the fact that Sean was saying, like, we're going to get more indie guys from all over the place and everything. And I assume, I don't want to say they're starting with Carl Fredericks, but the fact that they're going with a New Japan wrestler and Vince isn't here so they can reference the fact that he was in New Japan. I mean, wrestling it's going to be very interesting. Wrestling is going to get very interesting, all right? What are we talking about? Sasha Banks changed her Twitter. I mean, let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things, who cares? But, I mean, wrestling Twitter is obviously going to go fucking insane because that's all they do every time somebody, like, changes their bio, like, one time. Saraya's got a contract for 3 years. Don't put her in the ring. Don't. AEW, look, hey, turn around, come here. Don't put, whatever, man. You're going to do it anyway. Who cares? You might get more angles like the current White Rabbit one as WrestleNomics. Brandon Thurston says Triple H is going to be using more Easter eggs in the WWE. Good. I can't wait to see what that implies. Drew McIntyre is now included in creative plans for this week's SmackDown, and he's expected to work this weekend's live events. Great. Good thing that there's not stuff spewing out of his orifices, alright? So I'm glad he's feeling better. And New Japan wrestler Carl Fredericks was at the Performance Center earlier this week. So that ties into what I was talking about earlier with Shawn Michaels. And I can't wait to see who else they bring into the fold, alright? Folks, I want to give a shout out to everybody who stopped by. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll definitely catch you guys in the next one.